Good evening, friends. Welcome to tonight's session. We have Shekhar Iyer back with us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Minaji. Thank you, Jayadevji. Nice
Yeah,
to be back with you.
thank you. So there's a lot
Thank
of
you.
news happening now, and leading the news is, of course, uh, Prabhu Ram bashing by Raja, the MPA Raja, who thinks that that is a way to set the political discourse. What we found rather amusing is that uh, Lord Rama has been a controversial figure right from the beginning. So, you remember when, even when he came back with Sita Devi from Lanka, he was questioned by the people. Then, even when he had to prove that chastity, and then after that, also, our temple took so long to come. That was another controversial point. And finally, when he got a rousing welcome and the temple came into being, now these people are coming out like, Burmites. So do tell us about
Well,
what this man has in mind when he bashes Lord Rama and calls people who say Jai Shri Ram fools.
Meenaji, he is fighting two battles.
Yes,
One battle is fighting for prominence within his own party.
yes,
Because one time he had thought that he would be the first Dalit chief minister of Tamil Nadu. And he used to say that Karunanidhi considered him as one of his sons. And that is how Karunanidhi requested him to help Kadimuri, saying that I have not done anything for her, whereas my other children have managed to make themselves financially more than stable, whereas I have not been able to do anything for her. And that is how Kalangar TV saga started.
yeah,
Then we know 2G scam and Kalangar TV and all that story we know. And there is a, there was a case, and he somehow managed to get acquitted of the charges in the lower court, Sessions Court. And the matter is now before the High Court, where the CBI has challenged his acquittal.
yes,
So now that the matter is going to again pick up speed in Delhi High Court, you can see him that he is also trying to fight for his relevance within that party.
okay,
Because
okay,
there it is clear that after Stalin, it is going to be Udaynidhi. In
yes,
fact, Udaynidhi was almost to be declared the deputy chief minister
mm,
last December.
yeah,
But I think some wisdom prevailed, and for whatever wisdom, I do not know, political wisdom or otherwise, Stalin put off that idea and saying that I am fit and fine, I am not handing over charge to anyone, which upset Udayanidhi. Now, in the run up to that, launch as a deputy chief minister or the real number two, he made all he there was a eradication conference, Sanatan Dharm eradication conference. You have heard of conference to promote something. Here
yeah,
is a
yeah,
conference to eradicate something. And I know personally Raja very well.
mm.
He's one of the brightest of the among the DMK leaders.
Oh,
But
okay,
whatever reason, I don't know why I'm saying brightest in the sense he could have been,
on
sometime,
the right side.
he could have been on the right side. He was a kind of performing
Mm,
minister. But then
mm,
the pressure on him to help Kadimuri,
mm,
and also the pressure on him from the party to bring funds,
yes,
all that resulted in 2G scam, which was a very blatant misuse of office. You
yes,
know how you know things were done first come first serve, and arbitrarily people were awarded contracts for 2G,
yes,
and that was the beginning of, and it was, and UPA government itself had to institute a case to save
yes,
themselves after the CAG report said that a lot of loss had been done to the state exchequer. Now, here Raja Meenaji is a he belongs to scheduled caste community, and
yeah,
he
yeah,
represents the Nilgiris, which is
mm,
a reserved constituency.
yes,
But he is also a person who says that he has taken to Christianity.
yes,
And in Tamil Nadu, a lot of these political leaders, as well as others, who are doing well in their life and who continue to enjoy the benefits of being a scheduled caste, though they have converted to Christianity, do not declare themselves officially that they have become Christians,
yeah,
because lest they lose whatever privileges, like he is now representing a reserved constituency.
yeah,
But uh, A Raja, belonging, having no faith in Hindu religion,
Yeah.
he should not be talking like this.
Mm.
Because when Udayanidhi said that, the Sanatan Dharma, with whatever connotation they have in mind, the
Mm.
rest of India doesn't believe in that connotation.
Yeah.
He said it is about caste atrocities.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
going a little bit into the background because
Mm.
Raja has always been trying to be one step ahead of Udayanidhi.
Mm.
So when Udayanidhi said it is that Sanatan Dharma is like malaria,
Mm.
like mosquitoes, you have to eradicate it. He went one step and said it is like HIV, it's like
Mm.
leprosy,
Mm.
trying to be much more spiteful
Mm.
of Hindu beliefs, Hindu thoughts, Hindu customs. Saying then when questioned, they said, no, no, we are talking about caste discrimination and all that, which
Yes.
has Sanatan Dharma has nothing to do with caste discrimination.
Yeah. Yeah.
The core beliefs of Sanatan are different. Why caste atrocities have occurred, caste discriminations have occurred, that has been well documented also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how it has been perpetuated, and today's politics also perpetuates it,
Yes.
even in Tamil Nadu. That's a part. We saw the other day, Meenaji, how Supreme Court came down heavily on Udayanidhi Stalin for such remarks,
Yes.
saying that when Abhishek Manu Singhvi representing Udayanidhi Stalin sought bundling together of all the cases that have been registered against him for those remarks, Supreme Court was in no hurry to give him relief.
Yeah.
Supreme Court made it clear, look, you are not a layman, you are a minister, you are
Mm.
a responsible citizen, you are a member of the Tamil Nadu Assembly, you are a legislator. You
Yes.
should not be speaking in these spiteful ways. You should not be talking like this. And
Mm.
that is how they pulled him up.
Yeah.
And they said, we will see later how, what to do with the cases. And
Yeah.
today in Madras High Court, there was a petition filed, two petitions had been filed by
Mm.
people seeking action against Udayanidhi for those remarks.
Yeah.
Madras High Court dismissed those petitions,
Mm.
but at the same time pointed out that Udayanidhi Stalin should not have spoken like that.
Yeah.
He should not be speaking against any religion in that manner. Again,
Yes.
but Madras High Court pulled him up, though it did not. It did not actually, you know, allow registration of cases.
Yeah.
Rather, it said that look, this making unverified claims on Sanatan Dharma, that amounts to spreading misinformation.
Yes.
You should not be doing this. This is a
Yeah.
warning that they gave,
Yeah.
and they
But
also pulled up the charitable endowment minister Shekhar Babu.
yes.
Now, when this is the situation, that finally, this matter when it comes to the lower courts, wherever,
Yeah.
Udayanidhi is bound to be pulled up by the court, and he may be even be indicted, and
Yeah.
he may be given
So
even punishment.
yeah. So somewhere the BJP feels that it is leading to another angle where he's saying that India is not a nation, and when he means that India is not a nation, he wants to say that each and every state in South India is a separate country with separate culture and traditions, and hence it's a united states of India. So there is even a wider angle to it, is what these people are saying.
So, Meenaji, actually, it's blabbering.
Mm.
Sorry
Yes.
to use a
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very
Yes,
an
yes.
uncivil word. It's plain
Yeah, yeah.
blabbering.
Mm.
In Tamil, they call it Ularal.
Yeah.
You just go on
Uh,
saying, and Rajiv Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi was saying the same thing.
yeah,
India
yeah.
is a union of
Mm.
states.
Mm.
And, yesterday, funnily, Congress is now saying we are distancing from Raja's remark. Arey Baba, when Rahul Gandhi was saying the
I
same
know.
thing, we are all saying some new
United. Yes.
pronouncements on understanding of the constitution. Now,
Yes.
when when Raja
Rajesh.
says that, you
Mm.
are saying we are distancing because they fear that they already suffered on account of those remarks on Sanatan Dharma by
Mm.
Udayanidhi Stalin. And you saw the results in Madhya Pradesh,
Yes,
Rajasthan, and
yes.
Chhattisgarh,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it became a big issue. Now,
yeah.
continuously speaking about, I do not know why are they so upset. DMK people are upset with Prabhu Ram.
Mm.
Meenaji,
Mm.
if Periyar was alive and he were
Mm.
to make
Mm.
those speeches again,
Mm.
at were to indulge in similarly what he had done then,
Mm.
he would be booked for hateful speeches.
Yes.
They were directly, hateful speeches, no doubt, trying to provoke against one community,
Yeah.
against Hinduism. Now, these people are thinking that by speaking like this, I mean, it's very clear that they can divert attention from three things which is worrying the DMK.
Yeah.
One is the party seen as the most corrupt,
Yes.
that people have made it tons of money
Yeah. Yeah.
belonging to the party, and
And
poor
even now
people have been left
the drug
high
movie
and dry.
connection. Yeah.
And now the new connections about drugs coming up, which the Prime
Yes.
Minister
Yes.
pointed out at his Nandanam rally the other day in Chennai,
Yes. Mm,
where he said this is too much.
mm.
Corruption itself too bad. Now you are doing something which is going to finish the future
Yeah.
generation of young people. Young people, young boys and girls are falling prey to this. And some of the people who have been caught, and person who is wanted, has been linked to the even to the first family people.
Yeah.
If money is coming, means they are willing to give access to any character.
Yes. Yes.
And once they give access to that character goes on giving them money, and they are very happy with little realizing that how these people are how to destroy the system.
Yes.
And after Prime Minister flagged it, it has become a big issue now.
Yes.
And
And what's the
NIA is
third point? One
see,
more
because
point, please.
wherever there is drug, there is going to be a
Mm.
terrorist angle. There
Yes.
will be
Yes.
jihadi elements, terrorism and drugs. It's a old nexus.
Yes.
Now they think in order to divert from all this, we'll start abusing Ram.
Mm.
But Prime Minister has shown that Tamil Nadu has a rich tradition of venerating Ram. There are several places where Prime Minister himself went, from Srirangam to Dhanishkodi to Rameshwaram. There are several temples. There are several temples dedicated to Kodandaramar.
Yes.
There are the Prabhu Ram with the bow is
Mm.
called Kodandaram.
Yes.
Now, with this being the case, these people are thinking that if we keep talking like that, show themselves as rationalists, atheists, and agnostics, then they can get away with the actual thing what they have done.
Yeah.
The malgovernance, the corruption, that is the
It's a
biggest thing,
cover up.
and it has hit the ceiling, Minaji.
Yes.
And even for a common man, whether he goes to fix his electricity meter, settle his electricity bills, or pay the land tax, or fix his registration, land registration or flat registration, everything is involving huge sums of money, and the rates have gone up. Whatever
Yes.
was prevalent in AADMK's rule, now under DMK it has gone up. Everybody says, and
Yeah.
all this money goes to the top.
Mm.
And top certainly not the heaven, but people who are ruling the roost.
Yeah.
So these are diversionary tactics, but I
Yeah.
think a man on the street, people are seeing what is happening. Howsoever you may go on abusing Prabhu Sri Ram, that is not going to help DMK at all or its leaders.
Yeah. So moving on to
So,
the JD.
yeah,
Yes.
one question I have, sir, is that actor Vijay is making a new party and new political party in the next election. How do you think it will affect the DMK party and the BJP in this regard?
Jaydev ji, this Vijay's new party, it's called Tamil Vetri Katchi, I think. And this party it was the proposal to launch the party was announced, and also came the statement we are not going to participate in the Lok Sabha elections. We will fight the assembly elections in 2026. And everybody immediately concluded it is DMK which has egged on this actor Vijay to prop up this party so that the anti DMK votes get divided further, because they are terrified by the popularity of Annamalai, the Tamil Nadu BJP president, who has undertaken a Padayatra which concluded, and the Prime Minister wrapped up the valedictory function of the Yatra. And they think that by promoting Vijay, because all his Vijay's films are financed by people belonging to the DMK clan. Either it is the Maran Brothers, the companies that Maran Brothers run in film production, film distribution, or it is within these companies. So he is actually very, very close to these people because they are financing his films. Even in Rajinikanth case, Meenaji, Rajinikanth was stopped by the DMK family members.
Yeah.
They stopped him. They said
Mm.
no. That is why, because he was heavily financially indebted to them, because they were financing his films,
Yeah.
Maran Brothers.
Mm.
So similarly, Vijay has been created by the DMK in order to split the anti-DMK votes so that it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And since he's a popular actor, and because he is talking of Periyar, Ambedkar, and Kamraj,
Mm.
appealing to all shades of opinion,
Mm.
and basically he's anti-BJP.
Mm.
So you can see that, and a person who is already facing investigation as to his tax returns, import of
Yes.
cars, there were
Mm.
several controversies
Yes.
involving him.
Yes.
But everybody knows that actor Vijay is a prop up of DMK,
Yeah.
in the
Also,
hope
there's
that
uh,
if they don't do well in the Lok Sabha elections, and subsequently they can see that the opposition is divided and
mm,
there is no consolidation of votes against them.
yeah. Also, they say that see actors like Rajnikant and people, top actors like Rajnikant and Kamala Hassan, they don't have a say. If, when they sign a movie, everything else is decided by the producer and the distributor. So they don't have a say in whether the movie is going to be released or not. And
I can't hear you.
sorry, sir. There's some. Yeah. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they say that see, even superstars like Rajnikant and uh, people like Kamala Hassan, they do not have a say when it comes to films because everything, including the heroine and whatever happens, is only decided by the producer and these politicians. You know, and so it shows that these superstars are mere puppets in their hands.
Yeah, indeed, because you see, when these days all films are big budget. No films is
Yes.
cost less than 300 crores.
Yes.
Now, if this being the case, when you are, when you are spending so much of money and the money is being put by somebody else, it's very difficult for you to actually, easily come out. See, unless
Yeah.
you finish all your films
Mm.
and you are completely settled your accounts, then only you can do something.
Yes.
But in Rajinikanth's case, he had one more film to complete, and then he had already made up his mind. But then for
Yes.
2 years, he let the people on a dreamy path that he is going to provide Anmiga Rasiyal, that is
Yes.
spiritual politics. But then they turned the screw, and of course, he also said his health
Yeah.
uh,
Permitting him.
was not helping him, was not aiding him.
Yeah.
Maybe that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
also true. But
Yeah.
everybody felt it was the financial side which played a big part in Rajinikanth's decision.
Yeah. So, sir, it's not only now Tamil Nadu, but it's also it started with Bollywood, where the drug nexus was shown. Where they said that see, drugs are funding movies, and that was very clear when it came to the case of Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan, and it was very clear that the NCB was closing in on who are the people who are the drug dons, international drug dons. So they were coming almost to that conclusion apparently, and they had found out all the connections, and they were coming to that point. That is when everything went haywire, and people started moving into towards Shah Rukh Khan's direction and trying to protect him. And they showed WhatsApp conversations between Shah Rukh and Samir Wankade, where he says, "Please, he's my son. You must treat him like a child." And those sort of WhatsApp messages were given. So here, though now we will not talk about either Shah Rukh Khan or about Samir Wankade, but it's very obvious that see the the intelligence of the people who did that raid actually were almost going to come to the conclusion that who were the drug pin, international drug pins, because they had already questioned people like Arjun Rampal. Arjun Rampal has connections because his girlfriend, present girlfriend, has a brother who's a big drug dealer. So all these connections were being built up. So we have actually moved from Bollywood to Tollywood, and possibly if we move to Malayalam films, you will find an even bigger nexus because there was a huge raid in Kerala, where they raided everyone from, including Mohanlal's Ashirwad Productions, which is his own home productions. And the person who's the producer, his name is Anto, who was an earlier driver, his driver, you see. So all these production homes were raided to find out the white black laundering of money. So you can understand, sir, how this is spreading all over, and how without any sort of feelings for the country or for our younger generation, you know, the film fraternity is working. Because if you feel that the next generation should not be polluted, we need a clean generation, we would not indulge in drugs, however much money we get. So you see how much these movies are contributing in that direction without having any qualms.
Indeed, Minaji, because of course, of late the Bollywood has filmmaking has become more corporatized, and you have companies which are taking help from the financial institutions finance films. But that era lasted for a long time, where the nexus between the what you call the building contractors, real estate
Yes,
agents, and the
yes,
drug peddlers,
yes,
because that money that would come would be used to films, because films investment in films always gave a bigger return and a quicker
yes,
return
yes,
compared to other things. Now what we are seeing is that the drug trade itself requires some investment.
yes,
So that investment is coming from maybe from the people who are connected with the cinema,
yeah,
and in turn the proceeds of that is again plowed into the films.
mm,
And also, I always suspect, and rather some of the investigators have also told me, that many of the film stars are forced to become drug addicts,
yes,
because there is a trap laid in
yes,
which people who act in films, who are given contracts or who are given a chance, are somehow roped in, so that the huge money that they get as professional fees, a part of it is again brought back because they themselves get addicted.
yes, yes, absolutely.
And 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 even Sushant Singh Rajput had a similar angle. How
Yes,
people are systematically targeted and trapped
yes, yes,
by personal addiction, which also
yeah,
fuels the trade, and the
yeah,
trade in turn fuels film investments and things like
yeah,
that. Now,
yeah,
in this particular case, in Tamil
mm,
Nadu case, it's very clear.
yeah,
This particular character who has been producing films, and one or two films, and now his people have been caught. Three people in Delhi, and the ramifications are far wider, because
yeah, yeah,
the Narcotics Control Bureau was tipped by its counterparts in United States, Canada,
mm,
as well as from Australia and New Zealand, that
yes,
they were sending this the drugs in the form, mixed with coconut, shredded coconut powder,
yes, 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 yes,
dried,
yes,
coconut powder.
mm, mm,
Now they are finding new ways, but then it has to be a huge thing.
yeah,
And the fact that this person, he has been seen in the company of top police officers, in the company of top leaders. He seems to be a great social wannabe. You can see that he is spending money.
yeah,
Now, if you spend money, you do get platforms where you can get to interact with these leaders and get photographed. But
yes,
whatever it is very dangerous. And the way the Prime Minister put it, speaks volumes about the nexus, because Prime Minister said a lot of information is coming to us, that is coming to him at his level, which is very alarming about the future of Tamil Nadu. So this is going to be an issue, Biraji, where the increasingly DMK leadership will be on the back foot.
yeah,
They can go on abusing all the pantheons, the entire pantheon of Hindu gods. But I
yeah,
don't think this is going to bail them out from a very serious problem. And it also shows a lack of political responsibility. They have expelled that particular person
mm,
as soon as his name has figured. Now he is absconding. But definitely, I think all these diversion tactics will not help. When Prime Minister Modi comes back and starts his third term, you are going to see a major crackdown.
yeah,
And because with that, I think that will mark a beginning of a big cleanup.
yeah,
And Prime Minister said it, Nadram, in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, he said, I love cleanliness. मुझे स्वच्छता बहुत पसंद है. I like cleanliness, and I love to clean up.
mm,
And he said it in a way, both the physical environment as well
yeah,
as the system.
exactly. Mm,
And he said, All that you have to do is give me a strong mandate and I'll fix these fellows.
Yeah.
The message was as simple
Ah,
as
very
that.
clear. Yeah, very clear. So
Sir,
moving on to Kerala.
one
Yeah.
question is, sorry, Dr. Swami had, earlier asked, I think, Modi ji, during the first or second term, what about the Swiss bank deposits? Will it be, will you find the people and then, bring the money back home to India? So, do you think anything like this happening in the third term?
Jaydev ji, we should not be, taking Swami's statements. Swami is so upset with his own position and standing in politics at this stage of life that whatever he says has something to do with his own personal.
Yeah.
He's a person who feels that he didn't get enough,
Mm,
that he was not given his due by any party.
mm,
See, his problem is he feels he brought Jayalalitha, Sonia together,
mm.
but they did not want to make him finance minister, and that arrangement didn't work. Vajpayee was back in '99, and subsequent, of course, only time he helped Narasimha Rao was during that when Narasimha Rao was a minority government. He helped Narasimha Rao get majority, and
Mm.
thus was born the JMM case.
Yes.
The JMM case in which the judgment has come now
Mm.
that those fellows were let off in a wrong manner. You remember that these JMM
Yeah.
MPs had taken bribe to vote for Narasimha Rao in July of 1993
Yeah.
in an arrangement in which Swami was actively involved getting support for Narasimha Rao.
Yeah.
So Narasimha Rao rewarded him with a cabinet rank and gave him a position of a standing committee
Mm.
for trade talks, WTO and UNCTAD and all that. Now, subsequent to that, what we have seen is Swami has been very, very critical of, though, with great reluctance, BJP took him into the party. You see, the whole thing was they felt that he had done a lot of work for the Ram
Yeah.
Setu, protecting Ram Setu.
Yeah.
So there was
National
a feeling
National Herald as well.
Parivar that he should be, rewarded something.
Yeah.
So he was given a Rajya Sabha seat.
Mm.
After he was given a Rajya Sabha seat, he thought he'll become a minister. But then, Prime Minister Modi understands that Swami's problem is very bright, very intelligent, but then he cannot fit into any system.
Mm.
Otherwise, he would have gone far.
Mm.
But his problem is so much he is obsessed with himself.
Mm.
So much he's about. I mean, I never talk about Dr.
Maybe,
Swami because
maybe the
he
wrong
has been a good
advisors.
friend.
Yeah.
No, no,
Maybe the wrong
not wrong
advisors.
advisor. I don't. I feel probably he has been frustrated by um, opportunities that did not come his way to reach the
Mm.
top.
Mm.
Because there are sometimes when you are bright, you are well qualified. There are very few people like Dr. Swami, and then there are people like Jairam Ramesh.
Mm.
Now look at the fate of Jairam Ramesh.
Mm.
Very bright person
Mm.
who is who has served Rahul Gandhi, PV Narasimha Rao, later Sonia Gandhi. Now today, what he is doing, he has to go on supporting whatever Rahul
Yeah.
says.
Whatever he does, yes.
I mean, sometimes I wonder, how much of compromises he has to make on his
Yeah.
intelligence to support
In
Rahul Gandhi.
politics.
Of course, in Swami's case also, too bright but could not get
Mm.
adjusted,
Mm.
could not compromise. And also, Swami himself has been accused of many questionable ways, his
Yes.
politics, his approach, and there is personal attrition, that
Mm.
comes when he feels that, he should have been made this or that. In the Modi scheme of things, nobody can blackmail Modi.
Yeah.
Nobody can, Swami might have had his way with Ramakrishna Hegde and others.
Yeah. Yeah.
His fame was he brought out those orders in which tapping of opposition leaders had been ordered, and
Yes.
Hegde had to quit. Ramakrishna Hegde as
Yes.
Karnataka chief minister. But Prime Minister Modi is not a person who can be cornered by Dr.
Yeah.
Swami.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Dr. Swami has been saying all kinds of things, and Prime Minister, as usual, has been taking it in his stride, has not been saying anything.
Mm.
Because
But
his
also,
Rajya Sabha term got over, he had to vacate his house and all that.
yeah. Yeah. Also, see, I was disappointed because, see, we were also, we were admirers of him and his intelligence, as you said. But when it came to the Sushant Singh case, you know, He was the one who was, was, standing side by side, helping us in all this. And then suddenly he quit, and he not only quit, but he started speaking well about Thakres, especially Aditya Thakre, when everybody knows, who are the people behind it. And it is then that we realize that, see, we cannot follow such a person. So I had to also, another point is about, this is very interesting. It's about Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden's administration has imported over 3 lakh illegal immigrants into US through secret flights in 2023, reveals a lawsuit. The Customs and Border Protection allowed the mass migration of illegal immigrants to US cities through chartered flights from foreign countries. They have transported so many people, 3 lakh people, from countries such as Guatemala, Honduras, Colombia, Ecuador, Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and El Salvador. So, with the way Trump is gaining ground in USA, and this man doing all these things, what are your views on this, sir?
No, this issue of America being swamped by illegal immigrants is has been a big talking point with Trump.
Yes,
Even in his last term, you saw that he takes steps to cut down on the influx of people coming into the country.
yes,
Now, we are seeing the primaries have started now, and there is no way they are able to stop Trump.
yes,
It's what they call Super Tuesday. We
yes,
saw Trump win 12 of the 15, primaries.
yes,
Of course, Biden has been doing well in the last Tuesday, what is
mm,
called Super Tuesday.
mm,
Now, is it going to be a rerun of Biden versus Trump? Well, at the moment, it looks like.
mm,
And also, we saw, he was prevented from running for elections. One court has struck it down.
yes,
So, of course, there will be more efforts to prevent Trump from contesting the elections.
yeah.
But at the
So my
moment,
question, uh,
somehow Trump, has been getting traction, and he has
yeah,
been flagging these issues. Now, what we understand is this has come out in this whole report about 10 million people illegally entered the US, and at least 300,000,
yeah,
3,20,000 people where they
yeah,
used an app. I'm told
yes,
that
yes,
app is called CBP1, where you put in signed up and you get a sort of a waiver or a sort of a thing where for 2 years you get some legal status to work in America,
yeah,
which this provision has been misused is what a journalist has reported.
yeah, yeah,
And Trump has picked up from that report and has been uh, highlighting this issue. But
yeah,
in the issues that the Trump has raised, that
yes,
those issues have remained alive and they are gaining strength.
yeah.
And
So,
though the counter argument is this is more Trump's policies have been discriminatory, have been racially biased. I mean, this is going to be the narrative in the American elections.
yeah. So,
Now
do you
we
think,
have got
sir,
to
that,
see what are the facts,
yeah,
but one can see one thing, even in Europe today,
yeah,
Meenaji, this
yeah,
fear is there. The fear
yeah.
that we are getting swamped, fear
Ah,
that
yes, yeah. That is what I'm
that our
asking.
culture, we are losing our culture.
Yeah, and
Like
are they the
Trump,
new people who will elect? You know,
yes,
the
and
yeah, yeah,
that fear is there. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
we too have had those fears in Assam. We have had
yeah.
fears in Manipur.
Exactly, exactly.
This is there, and
Mm,
the waves of people have been reaching these European shores, American
yes.
shores. Somehow or the other, they are even willing to risk their life, travel in containers,
Mm,
brave the rough seas, and somehow reach there.
yeah, yeah.
And once they reach there, and once they get, start working there, they want to convert that place into the place from where they came from.
Why do they come from there in the first place? So, one last question before you go. I don't know whether you heard of this case of the death of a boy called Siddharthan in Kerala. Yeah. So, see, initially they said that this boy had committed suicide, and even the police and everybody was saying that it was a suicide. Later, it was revealed that it is the student wing who were behind the murder of this boy. And apparently, this is happening in a lot of the colleges and universities in Kerala, where these political groups are tormenting students and making them do exactly what they want. So it's more like a dictatorship that's happening in colleges. So I was just, while discussing with my husband, I said, see, why do we have political groups at all in educational institutions? Can't we do away with it? So he was saying when he was in Kerala and he was studying, they did not have any political groups. It is only after that they started. So why is it, Shekharji, that we have political groups where in educational institutions where students should be only focusing on their all round growth and education?
Oh, yeah, that would have been the ideal situation. But we
Yeah.
have seen, political parties have been using this college youth for their political activities. I mean, using them as their volunteers, and so they have their students wing, they have their youth wing,
Yes.
and but what has happened in Kerala is very, very shocking. The
Yes.
fact that the perpetrators belong to the Students Federation of India
Yes.
(SFI), the
Yeah.
student wing of the CPIM,
Yes.
and it has always been made out by left parties
Yes.
that they are some benign force on the earth,
Yeah.
that their setups are all for social causes and against oppression and things like that. But if you look at this particular incident, all that poor boy was probably involved was he probably danced with some girl on a
Yeah.
Valentine
No,
get
even that
together
is
or some.
apparently that is also a lie. What they have said is that that girl, spoke about some past incident where he spoke to her badly or treated her badly, and she brought it up. Actually, it is not that. What is what they say? They say that this boy was a very bright student, and I think there was a lot of envy because he was good at everything, and he was planning to join some forestry or something. He used to tell his father. So I think here it is perhaps he did not join in with them, and he was a brilliant student. So the jealousy and the need to dominate him were some of the things, is what I believe. So I'm running a story on this, Shekharji, this evening.
No, Minaji, what it only shows is
Yeah.
criminal elements are in the disguise of Student Federation of
Yes,
India,
absolutely, absolutely.
and these criminal elements are running a mafia kind of system in the
Yes,
colleges,
exactly.
and they run kangaroo courts.
Mm,
If
yes.
any girl had a problem or issue, there was proper authorities to approach.
Yeah.
And instead of that, this poor boy was targeted, beaten up,
And do you know,
and
Shekharji, see, when he
finally he
died,
committed
yeah.
committed suicide.
No,
I'm
he did
told.
not commit suicide because the ceiling of the bathroom was very high, and there was only a small bucket, so he could not harm. They would have killed him and then hung him. So this is allegedly, and then you see even this girl issue has come in only to camouflage because they wanted him to come back. He was going to visit his parents, so they wanted him to come back, and that's why they said this girl has sent a complaint. So to make sure that this boy would return to the college, then the murder was all pre-planned. The torture weapons were, kept ready, and then that's how they killed him. And this was a lesson for all the other people, all the other students, not to do anything that would, upset the youth wing. And also, they were threatened to say that they would not tell this to anybody. So this is how the whole thing transpired.
Ji, that is why governor, took a serious view of this matter,
Yes,
even suspended the vice chancellor,
yes,
saying that how could this go on? In fact, when
yeah,
I first read about this, I even felt that entire college should be closed down.
yes, absolutely,
I mean, such
absolutely.
a college with such
Yeah,
a setup is not necessary.
yeah,
Number one. And number two, you are right. It's at high time to look at the so-called union
yeah.
activities
Should be
in the
banned.
name of
Yes.
student get together and all that.
Yeah.
And and what you are seeing is that such sadistic characters
Yes.
who need to be in mental homes.
Yes.
They are in colleges
Yeah.
and running unions.
And see,
Such sadistic
Shekharji,
people.
yeah, while we are
I mean,
discussing this,
I mean, we have
yeah,
already seen the horrors of ragging.
yes,
Though a lot number of cases has come down because of crackdown,
yes,
because of the law passed by many state governments.
yeah,
But at the same time, incidents like this,
yeah,
you know, because there is a, I mean, even why I'm mentioning this, if the this girl angle, that means even the left organizations are willing to do moral policy. They
yes,
keep on talking about,
yeah,
the so-called right-wing
yeah,
groups doing moral.
yes,
What was this? And the poor boy had left for home. They called him back.
yes,
They
yeah,
probably reached somewhere.
yes.
They
And
called him back
sir,
and he.
while you're speaking, while you're speaking like this, if you watch Twitter very closely, you will find one more case. They're showing a film, a clip where this man is, one of the students is, beating a young boy, and saying, and in that very, see, because I can understand Malayalam, but I can't understand the rural Malayalam, very slang Malayalam, very cheap Malayalam, how they're threatening the boy, and telling him that, see, you will see what we'll do to you. So this is happening constantly. So I would feel scared for my son if my son was studying there or my daughter was studying there. So if all the parents, would worry and then they would request for this to be happen, then this should come as a rule, you know. Otherwise, how do you
So my
protect your
question
children?
is, what is turning them into such brutes?
Yeah, it is the
Is it
political
political
power.
ideology?
Yes,
Is
yes,
it
political.
political patronage?
Yes, yes.
And why hasn't the chief minister spoken on this? It should have shaken. It should have shaken the state government.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the governor had to act. A governor whom they have been using SFI to threaten.
yeah,
See, the Marxists have been using their students' wing,
yeah, yeah,
their youth wing, to create problems for the governor.
yeah.
Very
See,
unfortunate, to say the least.
how Pinrai, he got 1,520 crores. He spent 1,520 crores, and only 5,839 jobs were generated. RTI reveals how Kerala government generated precious few jobs in 8 years, despite heavy spend. So that itself shows how he doesn't care for the state. He only cares for his family. How rich his daughter should become, how rich his son-in-law should become. This is only a family ruling. But again, see, Shekharji, I think that if you compare them to Congress and Rahul Gandhi, they are much milder. You know, that's all I can say.
Yeah, yeah, this is it's a wake up call, Minaji.
Yes,
It's
yes,
a wake up call for all of us,
yeah,
for the
yeah,
people of Kerala, for the
yes,
politicians of Kerala, that a life lost, a young life lost,
yes.
is such a burden for the parents,
Yeah,
particularly,
yeah.
an
Do you know?
emotional
See,
burden.
do you know this?
How long?
This in this man's body, there was no water, there was no food, there was no urine, because for 3 days he had not been given anything. And if they say that he had gone to the bathroom to hang himself, the first thing any normal man would have done was to drink some water because he would have been thirsty for the past 3 days. And they say that he hung himself. So this is all so ridiculous. The police as well are hiding the proof, everything. It's terrible. Yeah. With this,
Indeed,
Shekharji,
it's a very.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Shekharji, for this wonderful session. Thank you for being with us for a little longer, despite your heavy schedule. So thank you, Jai Shri Ram, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Miraji. Thank you, Jaydev ji.